Hey gang. So, as my viewers know, I usually take the summers off to relax and don't do much creating these days. But occasionally something will come up that is A, so stupid I have to comment on it, and B, going to be such a petty little flash in the pan thing that will have blown over by the time I return to my regular schedule and I'll be late to the party. I'm going to be talking about why Ben Shapiro is losing it over women who dare to control their own sexuality. That's why I cut my vacation short and raced back to my recording area. As my fans can probably tell from my musical choices, I barely listen to anything out of this millennium, but let's take a look at Ben's thoughts on Wet Ass Pussy.
Here are some of the lyrics. You ready? Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. Hold up. I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass P-word. Make that pullout game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P-word.
Oh wow, songs about sex. That's never happened before. Except for, just about every other song ever recorded. Sure, it's not usually as explicit as this, but strip away the fanciful language, and lots of songs are about getting together with someone for some carnal activities. And this isn't even the first time incredibly explicit lyrics have been used. I mean, and you said, but you're such a hunk, so full of spunk. I'll give you head till you're burning up. Head till you get enough. Head till your love is red. I mean, that was also quite explicit and was released 40 damn years ago. Commenting about sex, even explicitly, is not really anything new. That is describing a woman's desires in what could be considered quite a crude way, and that's from what some people consider a holy book.
P-word is female genitalia.
Really, Ben? You don't say. Glad you cleared that one up for us. I'm sure it was a huge mystery for your viewers to decode your subtle censorship.
Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet ass P-word. Beat it up, N-word. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P-word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I want to ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P-word is wet, come take a dive.
Let's discuss the elephant in the room. Yes, like Ben did, there are words that I'll censor. I'll say N-word because the actual term has a history of institutionalized racial discrimination meant to demean and degrade that I choose not to participate in.
Here's the thing, Tupac, DMX, Dr. Dre, in most of their songs, these artists use an extremely volatile racial slur. The N-word.
I got it.
Right. My question is this. If we're both singing along and knowing that otherwise I would never use the word, am I allowed to say?
No.
See, that's good for me to know. I didn't know that.
The word pussy doesn't. Being called a pussy is more of a slur when used against men for some reason. And not to get too far off topic, but let's talk about the Streisand effect. When somebody with a large platform like Ben's here brings up something, even to complain, that's giving it free publicity. As I said, I don't have much modern music in my Zune. I hadn't even heard of Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion before Ben brought them to my attention. In his quest to shame these women, he seemed to be giving them so much more publicity. In his quest to shame these women, he seemed to give them so much more publicity than if he had just kept his mouth shut. I know what most of you are thinking, but Tim, aren't you doing the same for Ben, giving him free publicity? Honestly, I'm a nobody. I barely have 800 people subscribed to me, so I'm really not giving Ben a platform by bringing up his comments. As he would say,
I'm popular and no one has ever heard of you.
when the music industry started putting parental advisory stickers on albums, it made kids want to listen to them more because they were forbidden, driving up sales. For those that don't know, apparently Tipper Gore heard her daughter listen to the opening lyrics of Darling Nikki, which made her conclude that music had to be censored. Let me give you the lyrics that started everything, and to any younger people listening, they may not be appropriate, but I'll try to explain it afterwards. I knew a girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. Now, I know my younger viewers may be confused by those lyrics, so let me explain. A magazine is a periodical, usually printed on glossy paper, and before the internet was, sadly, the best, and for some the only way, to get porn. Back in the day, the best we could get were a few pages of collected pictures. People these days don't realize what a golden age of pornography we're living in now, with access to every kink and fetish for the perverts like me out there.
And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like, a lot more vulgar. Talk your S-word, bite your lip, ask for a call while you ride that D-word.
As an aside, Ben, why the blurring out? These women aren't showing their nipples. In the video, they have pasties on. Are you trying to make things seem even more vulgar than they are by insinuating these women are topless in their videos? Or do you find that even covered up nipples are too erotic for you and your viewers to handle?
You really ain't never gonna F him for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came. Now get your boots and your coat for this wet-ass P word. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet-ass P... Right, so this is... Guys, this is what feminists fought for. This is what the feminist movement was all about.
Well, it's not just that. But while there are other social and political issues that women have to deal with that feminism does focus on, being able to control one's own sexuality is an important part of feminist theory. Women controlling their own bodies and using them in ways that you may not like, but they choose to, is a large part of feminism. You can't simply take one facet of a social movement and claim that's all it's about. If a woman wants to enjoy and use her sexuality, that is absolutely her prerogative. How many songs out there have been about guys who can get all the pussy they want? So, why the double standard about women using their pussy? In the same way, would you look at this picture and conclude that the fight for civil rights was all about getting to eat lunch where you want and ignore the rest of the injustices that minorities had to deal with? Good point. Still a long way to go. So, you may not like how a woman uses her body, but it's her body to decide how to use, not yours. Which, yeah, is something that feminists fought for.
It's not really about, women being treated as independent, full, rounded human beings. It's about wet-ass P-word. And if you say anything differently, it's because you're a misogynist, you see.
Well, if you're telling a woman she's not allowed to use her body as she wants, then yes, that's a fairly misogynistic stance to take. Look, Ben, I don't want people telling me who I can have sex with or how I can have it. As long as all the partners are able to consent to it, then it's nobody's goddamn business. If these women want to enjoy, celebrate, and use their bodies as they see fit, then I'm going to have to go with, yeah, it's misogynistic to say they can't. I mean, if a woman's sexuality worries you so much, do you think they should be in a veil with nothing but their eyes covered? Too much? And now, the part I know that everybody has been waiting for, his response to this being brought up. So, I know a lot of you are waiting for me to start on the jokes like, in all of the years they've been together, Ben Shapiro's doctor wife has never gotten wet outside of a vaginal infection. But that seems too easy, and Twitter's been doing that non-stop already. I mean, I could comment that even a guy with a face as ugly as this can make women more sexually aroused than Ben claims he can.
Yes, but creating more sexual desire than Ben Shapiro does is a pretty low f***ing bar to get over.
Thanks, baby. But those jokes just seem easy and mean-spirited to make. I do want to ask, though, do you understand that not all song lyrics are meant to be taken literally? John Lennon was not saying that he was an actual walrus. Bonnie Tyler did not mean that she was living in a barrel of gunpowder, and I'm quite certain that Def Leppard didn't want people to literally pour sugar on them. The bucket and mop comment was simply hyperbole, over-exaggerating how wet these women get when preparing for and while enjoying sex. Although, to the guys, and 10% of women out there, if you do your job right, at least a few towels will be needed for any woman you want to please. Anyway, back to my vacation. Ladies?
Like his credit, he got a beard, well I'm tryna wet it. I let him taste it, now he diabetic. I don't wanna spit, I wanna go, I wanna gag, I wanna choke. I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging the back of my throat. My head game is fire, Punani the sunny is going and drying, it's coming outside, yeah.